Doom: The Dark Ages is an excellent game, and until now I have been loving it intensely. Unfortunately, it's getting a lot of criticism because its gameplay it's too slow.
No, don't do it! Get this shit off me!
Okay, let's recap. Where does the issue of players thinking that the game is slow come from? Well, let me introduce you to the history of Doom. Doom was released in 1993, and aside from becoming a modern meme like Doom runs on everything, it was a game hugely accepted by gaming community because unlike its competitors of that year, it has shown as something truly different. You had a really big arsenal at your disposal, including the mythical weapons as the fist, the chainsaw, the pistol, the shotgun, and the other guns. And not only that, the game has legendary enemies that are still in the franchise to these days, like the Zombie Man, Shotgun Guy, Lost Soul, and Saul Goodman? Not to mention the incredible artistic environment that shows the hell in a highly detailed way, along with the well-designed puzzle, not so complex that you will burn your brain for hours, but also not so easy that you will get stuck through them either. The game also features weapon upgrades and, of course, a brutal history line including our beloved Doom guy. So by now, I think you're getting the original formula of Doom. The game hands you weapons and say, hey, see those guys over there? Yeah. Well then... Seriously, I could show you Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 2016, and they will all follow the same path. But then, what changed over the years? Well, here is the real issue with Doom: The Dark Ages. The year is 2020 and Doom Eternal is released. Surprisingly, it still follows the same structure as its previous game, but its main difference is that it emphasizes in movement as the key formula for making a Doom game fun. And yeah, it's true that the mobility has gradually been incorporated into the vast universe of Doom titles, but let's not forget the core formula that makes a Doom game feels like Doom. Weapons, enemies, and history remains just magnificent as in its previous games, but here the game punished you for simply standing still. Parkour and dashes became fundamental skills to play the game correctly, so if you approach Doom Eternal with the veteran mindset of believing you were invincible and could tank bullets, the game will quickly prove you wrong. This mechanic was loved by the players. First, it attracted a new community and also revived the veteran players base. The feeling of sliding demons while running, dashing, double jumping onto the surfaces, slowing down time was absolutely brutal. The game had discovered a new secret formula to satisfy all its players, but as with every game that rises to fame, future bad reviews were inevitable. That's right, after its great success, 5 years passed, leading us to the present, 2025, and the release of its big new game, Doom: The Dark Ages. From the moment its trailer dropped, it captured everyone's attention, not just because of its stunning visuals, but also because the game was set in the events that took place before everything else. In other words, within its timeline, it fits here. However, when the game was finally released to the public, it was bombarded with negative reviews, justifying that the game was too slow. But wait, do you remember the formula I mentioned earlier? Alright, let's bring it to the present and compare. Does the game deliver on weapon variety? Well, based on this, and this, I would say it not only meets, but exceeds expectation. First, it brings back the classic weapons from previous titles, but what truly sets it apart is the 100% improvement in the mechanics. Not only does the game provide a huge variety of weapons, but it also allows you to grade each weapon. And if that wasn't enough, each weapon has a secondary mode, meaning that for every weapon you see here, you actually have two. Oh, and let's not forget, you now have a fucking shield that works like a chainsaw. Alright, onto the next aspect, does the game have a variety of enemies and let you kill them on your way? Wait, what's that sound? Yeah, I think the answer is yes. The variety of monsters in Doom has been incredible since its release, and what can I say? Just look at those models designed for the Doom The Dark Ages, perfectly capturing the medieval era. Moreover, each of them retains their unique abilities, meaning that sometimes you are not just playing with the intentions of killing everything that moves, but also to play with an strategic plan. Well, that, at least if you're playing with a difficulty high enough so the enemies are not made of cardboard. The game also includes plenty of puzzles, which honestly aren't very complex or particularly exciting to solve, but I think this feature works more as a way to give you a breathe after each battle. For example, if you're one of those players who likes to speedrun the game, you won't end up having an epileptic episode. The game makes sure to understand how to balance the dopamine rushes with the moments of pause, ensuring that you will be ready for the next fight. And now, if we talk about the cinematic art, the game really left me wordless. This feels like something out of this world. Personally, it delivers one of the best written scripts in video games, seriously. Ever since Doom Zombie dropped and you had a pet dragon, I knew this game was an absolutely gem. But after mentioning all of this, we reached to the final question. What are the differences between Doom The Dark Ages with its previous games? Well, based on what I have researched, people hated the removal of the punishment system for not moving, which was introduced in the Doom Eternal. To give you a simple analogy, in the previous game, you were a motorcycle with machine guns, but in this one you were a tank that absorbs damage and it still has machine guns. However, based on my experience when I play it, that was not really the case. I could move freely across multiple sections of the map with my shield, keep running and jumping from one side to another while slaying demons. And if you truly want a faster experience, you can activate the auto screen and upgrade the shield recharge speed to maximize your movement. But let me be honest. At the beginning I was also complaining about I feel it different. But I think thanks to you guys and the comments in my previous videos, I have discovered I need to investigate more before uploading a nonsense video. So after looking closer, I discovered that the movement wasn't the game's main issue. So what was missing? Well, aside from the formula I mentioned it early, I had been avoiding this topic to introduce it now. Despite loving the game and its new mechanics like the insanity of riding a dragon or piloting a giant robot, I still feel like something was lacking, but I couldn't find what. But you see, ever since the first Doom game was released, music was something that truly stood out, because it's not the same to demolish demons' heads like this, as it is to demolish them like this.
It's time to do.
So, what happened to the music in Doom The Dark Ages? The answer is simple. We don't have the same composer as before, which resulting in the game not having the same feel when playing it. And what happened to its composers? Well, in Doom 1993, the composer was Bobby Prince, whose music was originally associated with the heavy metal. A revolutionary idea for a game about, well, demons. Then we move on to the Doom 3, where the composer were Chris Brenna and Clint Waltz. Here, the game's atmosphere focused more on the silence and short ambient sequences to make the tension higher. And up to this point, if I had to categorize this music, I will say, damn, what a masterpiece! Or at least, that's what I thought until none other than Mick Gordon arrived in 2016 with his tracks. Now, this, my friends, it's cinema. Its music consists of a collection of different pieces that dynamically change based on gameplay, blending various elements of heavy metal, electronic music, and dark sounds from tapes. To be honest, Mick Gordon's music pushes the music of what it means to connect with the game. Every demon I slice in half, every obstacle I overcame, every second of gameplay will be into my memory thanks to his tracks. And let's not even get started to the absolute success that is the only thing they fear is you in Doom Eternal. Now then, what happened with Mick in Doom the Dark Ages, causing it to go from this to this? The answer is simple. Mick didn't collaborate on Doom the Dark Ages. It is suspected that Bethesda mistreated Mick, failing to pay him for over 2 years and ultimately ruining his musical career. This marks the collapse of one of the best aspects that make Doom stand out from other games today. Honestly, I didn't hate the music. I love the gameplay, I love the music, and overall, I don't complain about anything. But if something it's important to understand is that if you already release a really good game, people will be waiting a game with better quality than the previous one. And Doom has been doing excellent job so far, and with this latest game, I can say they improve. But I also can't say that the game was bad. At the end of the day, what makes Doom a great game is its simplicity in demon slaying, that rush, that pure adrenaline release. And yes, while they made some mistake with this entry, we can all hope they learn from them and deliver a more refined game. Not in terms of graphics, but in the aspect that has been doing recently their game famous. It's all about finding that balance that made the past Doom titles legendary, leaving their mark in our memories for years. Because Doom isn't about making something everyone likes. It's about connecting with your audience and giving them that sense that they are playing Doom.